Welcome to Design and Thrive. I'm Cassie Burkich, founder of Burkich Design Group, and the team and I are here to help you level up your brand with practical tips on branding, web design, and marketing for any budget. Whether your business is small, large, or somewhere in between, each episode is packed with insights and strategies to help your business stand out and grow. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. I'm Cassie Burkich of Design and Thrive. We are here with Joline Atkins today, who is a content creator for Burkich Design Group. Welcome,
Hello.
Joline.
Thank you for having me.
We have been in business at Burkich Design Group for coming up on 20 years now, and we have a lot of frequently asked questions, slight annoyances, and things we just want to teach people and put out into the world. So I am glad you're here today to talk social media with us.
I am very excited to talk social media, and I hope I don't talk your ear off.
Oh, I have no doubt that you will.
Absolutely.
So we're going to start with a hard question. What is one thing, I know you cannot do that you wish people knew about social media?
So my one thing will probably be layered into several things.
So not one thing?
Correct.
Okay.
But the one overall thing I wish people knew about social media, it's a little philosophical.
There we go.
Is that social media is relevant and so important, and at the same time, not that important. Not the most important.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Right.
Because I find that people normally choose one or the other. It's so important and everything needs to start and end there. And then they forget about other ways that they can market themselves, right?
Too much pressure on social media.
Or they're like, social media is annoying. I want nothing to do with it. It takes up my time. It's such a waste. And then they're missing out on free marketing.
Yeah.
So it's both? How's that?
All right. I mean, did she answer the question, moderator?
Yeah. So every question that I answer is going to have 3 points.
Okay.
3 to 5 points. Never
A,
just one.
B, 3.
A, B, 3, Z.
Fantastic. So I think you're right. Of course. You're right. So, okay. Pretend that it is important and that we are going to use it.
Absolutely.
How much time should a business owner spend on social media?
So I almost wish they wouldn't think of it as how much time.
Okay.
So I'm always seeing, because I see people put too much emphasis on it or not enough emphasis on it, I tend to think that there's a mindset issue behind whatever issue you may have with social media. So when I hear someone say, oh, well, how much time do I have to put in? Already you're thinking negatively.
Yes.
So yeah, there are some standard operating procedures, some SOPs that you could make a little checklist for yourself that maybe would take a half an hour every day. But I even get pushback on those. But I would say if you truly want to make use of social media, then a minimum 30 minutes a day. Now, if you have someone on your team or on your staff that is solely responsible for social media and they're there more than part-time, they're going to invest more time in social media. But if it's just you running your business and you're like, I know I have to do the thing, but I only have this much time to do the thing. First of all, get your head right and be like, you better look at it positively.
Right.
Because if you're going into it negatively, it's going to reflect, right? So if you then go into it with okay, here are the things that I can do in 30 minutes, at least you'll walk away feeling a little bit of success.
And that's what I do. I know you don't want a checklist or necessarily a SOP for it, but if you have a checklist, you stop the doom scrolling and you're like, I came on here and I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm not going to scroll to see what the other businesses are doing and to try to compare myself to somebody else or try to do this method, which may not even be for my target audience, But if you have those like little XYZ components, it does make it a little bit easier, right?
And there's definitely some basic, let's go back to the ABZ. There's definitely some components that you could do within 30 minutes, understanding that the social media landscape changes constantly. So if you think you're going to land on a structure that you can just keep forever, you're on a roller coaster, really. So
tell us
that is going to shift. But you're right about the doom scrolling because you might have a few things that you need to get done every day. But if you do get stuck scrolling, you tend to start to mimic what other people are doing.
And then you're just chasing that next fad, that next trend.
You're just chasing the trend, the fad that is going to change.
And looking to get viral.
Absolutely.
Should we talk about going viral?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute because it happened to me one time. And it wasn't even me. It was my husband. First of all, how fair is that?
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
So we did a video. Honestly, we were working out and he said something after the workout. I'm like, dude, that was really good. Can I record that? Like that was real?
So that wasn't real. Thanks for breaking my heart.
It was faked. And so fake. Sorry. Little Julia Louis-Dreyfus there.
I got you.
So we did it. 1.6 million people saw that reel. We're sharing the trending audio. It was trending audio, by the way.
Oh, that's
sharing the trending audio. There were a lot of positive comments, but what happens is you tend to focus on the arseholes. You tend to focus on the ones who either made fun of your content or said it was stupid or said it was irrelevant or you focus there and then you get hyper fixated there. And let me just tell you that from that 1.6 million, I did not get one new fitness customer.
Because it wasn't your audience.
No.
Not at all.
No. It was fun to watch it happen and it was fun to watch the experiment.
Right.
But I would much rather have 400 people see a post and maybe one person say, hey, I want to join you in that, than 1.6 million and there are dudes just being jerks.
And it's like those vanity metrics. Like you don't
metrics.
Care about it. Like on the flip side of things, social media wise, clients will say, oh, only 100 people saw that. Like, or only 100 people, liked it even. Like is even better. If 100 people walked into your store, you would be thrilled.
Right.
So because they're the right people, you actually targeted the right person, that you found the right audience, they liked it, they saw it. Where you have what did you say, 1.7 million?
Thank you for saying 1.7. It was actually 1.6.
Oh, 1.6 million. I'm so sorry.
But we're hoping
1.6 million, and none of them were your target audience. They will not be back. No offense.
Mm-mm.
But that's the crazy part. It's like, I'd rather have those 100 people that are made for me.
And I think the world of social media has gotten so hung up on the viral thing that we forget that. So if you're looking at your business or your organization, like you just said, a feet walking in a door.
Yes.
100 people walking in your door is insanely amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
And so even 20 people, you get 20 people looking at it or liking it. That's fantastic.
Right.
Then you have first of all, you have those 20 names. You can see them.
You do.
You can literally send them a message or send them a DM, whatever you want to do. That's phenomenal. I mean, of course, that all takes time too. So maybe that's one of those things, the 30 minutes a day, maybe you go back. And I know one of the tips you told me one time is, first of all, of course, engagement. You have to engage with the people that are engaging with you. But then you told me one time to go back the next day and kind of heart the comment of the person the day before, even though I've already responded to them or commented back, because that, again, gives them a little reminder, a little nudge of who you are.
And it keeps that post alive. So I don't want to state this metric because I may get it wrong. So in general, I think they say on Instagram, it's like 28 to 48 hours. And then that post is pretty much dead in the water.
So don't spend too much time.
Yes. So like if I were to say to someone who is like, okay, I am committed, I'm going to do the 30 minutes. What should I do? Well, you have to post something. And I always say to post on your grid. I know we're focusing on Instagram a lot, but post something on your grid that you don't mind living there forever. So it's not going to be some random video you took in your car that doesn't have any relevance to what you do. That can go on your stories, right? So put something there and then hang out for a little bit. And if people like it or comment, go ahead and comment, right? Maybe go over to your stories and do a little tease that there's something on your grid to even look at. And then, the next day, I do think the next day doing that heart. So if you make a list like that, I think it will help you stay in your lane where you don't feel like you have to be someone who you're not.
And
just
you
stay
don't
in
have
your
to
lane.
do all the things every day, but maybe write down these 10 things.
Right.
And then you have a half an hour. I'm going to take 4 of these things. And I'm going to do them right now.
Right.
And maybe some of them that do take a little longer are reaching out directly to people or even I love a voice DM.
Well, I mean, there are those services now where you can say, comment social media, and they comment and they immediately get a DM, so DMs are definitely untapped. A cold DM can be met with a little bit of You know, people don't always like that.
No.
Let me just say.
No.
But if you have that service and you're saying comment social media if you want to hear more, or comment quick launch website or whatever, and then they're going to get that message.
Yes.
That's a great way to
They've told you
that
they're interested.
Absolutely.
They've already liked what you said. Yeah. And I like the idea of reusing things. You know, if you're going to put a post out there, then throw it into stories as well, or, you know, directly send it to someone if there's, you know, someone that's asking for that kind of content, and then just use it over and over again.
And one of the things you mentioned was engagement, which they're now calling content interaction.
Yeah, that just happened.
Yes. And probably the most overwhelming thing I see with business owners is that they don't have time to comment on other people's stuff. And they are not going to reach the audience they want to without actually creating a dialogue with other people. So you almost have to say, okay, now I need to go over to 10 accounts and I need to be the person for them that I want them to be for me.
She's talking to me. She's telling me
I'm
to
talking
do that.
directly to Cassie. No, and I know that people say it should be only those accounts that are in your industry. And personally, just from experimentation of my own, I agree with that up to a point. But there are some accounts that I interact with just because I enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like Queer Eye. Yeah. I once made a comment there and 5,000 people liked it. And I got some people following me because of that. You know, so even where you're having fun on social media, go have fun over there and be Cassie Burkich and say yada, yada, yada. Not just on other, yes, exactly. Sorry. Not just on accounts that are graphic design or web design or whatever.
And the cool part about that is that those people that came over, you already have something in common with them.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. So if they end up being a target audience member for you, you already have, you know, something else in common.
And that's the first thing about social media is relationship. Relationship. Yeah. I mean, there's 3 for me. There's relationship, regularity, and repetitiveness. You know, so like the 3 R's, right? Yeah. You know, but you want that relationship first. You want to create relationship. And then, you want to be regular and consistent with posting. And that doesn't mean you have to do it every single day. And then the repetitiveness, you know, let's say there is something that is super important to your business. You cannot just talk about it one time.
I fail there
and
too.
I know.
I don't fail. I get tripped up.
Right. And you know, so I always tell people, so then alter the picture of the graphic a little bit, not completely, because then it looks like something completely new,
right?
You know, but you have to repeat the content.
Yeah, that's a tricky one for me because I really worry about annoying someone. That's my problem to deal with.
See, that's mindset right there.
Yes, that's my problem.
They're on your page. Yeah. You're not knocking on their door and going, here's my page.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And how many times do you have to say something for them to actually see it? I mean,
digitally?
A lot.
Like almost like 20.
No.
Which I promise you I'm not doing.
I already said no.
With BDG. But I do it probably 3 to 5 times. Yeah.
Yeah. And so with BDG, just to give you a kind of one of the SOPs, like give you a tip, is that we have a product we talk about every month.
Yep.
And then a project about once a week. So we came up with you came up with a thematic approach alongside, of course, of our marketing plan and things like that, so that we can have some sort of checklist and keep us consistent and keep us going back to the same types of content so that people get used to it. You know, so we're not talking about the same project over and over again, but we're talking about web design. We're talking about logo design. We're talking about, you know, digital and print marketing and things like that.
Right. And I try to use a variety of different ways to show that, whether it be a reel or a carousel or a picture or a graphic. And then making sure that those things are shared on stories. But you know my philosophy on stories. It's the backstage and people are kind of curious, you know. And I know at night, I scroll through stories at night. Like before bed, I'm like, what's everybody doing? You know, so I get a lot of ideas when I'm scrolling stories, and then I just kind of scroll reels at night and save some trending audio.
You have an amazing ability to see content in everything.
But then I want to make it right now.
And you do make it right now. Because, and I'm going to out you, we have this friends group message, this text thread going back and forth. And a friend shared her dog at the dog park.
Oh, I made a reel right there.
3 seconds later.
I couldn't stop.
There's a reel for that friend's business about that dog at the dog park. And I was like, literally, you looked at that and you saw an exact idea. But how do you teach people that?
So
you don't, you just hire
I don't know. Okay. So is it worth you learning to do that?
No.
Or is it worth you hiring someone to do that?
Right.
That reel took me 20 minutes.
It would have taken me a lot longer.
Exactly. And it took me 20 minutes because I wanted to find the right music. Curb Your Enthusiasm was perfect. I needed to add text and I wanted to make sure the text fit in the box. I mean, so like I feel uber responsible for whatever goes up on a client's page.
Yeah.
I feel very responsible. So what looks super easy can take 20 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing it, but I would never tell the business owner, oh, you need to do that.
No.
Instead, I would say, if you want something, a similar feel, go over to your stories and just talk to people for a little while.
Yeah,
and then leave the reels and the other stuff, hire someone to do it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something in your brain that maybe is not in other people's. 'Cause I saw the same video and I didn't think of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You didn't suddenly think, dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, the music went through my head. I have trending audio in my head at all times and I keep ideas. Yeah. So I do keep ideas. Now the hard part is I'm part-time, right? Yes. This is not my full-time gig where spontaneously I can just part of my job, just stop and make something. So when you have someone on your team that maybe this is their full time, I think it's going to open up the world a little bit. Like they'll be able to say, hey, I'm making this right now. And whereas I have to plan ahead.
Absolutely. And I think what's cool about how we work with our clients together, that you do social media for our clients, but then you can then do the stuff that doesn't need to be done on the fly. And then someone in-house can do the on-the-fly stuff.
Yes.
So they don't need maybe a full-timer. Maybe they just need somebody that can do a post or two a week, and then you can fill in the gaps with the scheduled, pre-planned stuff.
I would say as long as everyone's on the same page. And so, like, for example, if someone else were doing BDG marketing and suddenly put something red on your grid, I would be pissed.
Everybody
because you
would.
just ruined my grid.
Everybody
I'm
would.
Sorry. Yes, I know. But I've gotten to a place where I'm very meticulous about what it looks like.
Of course. And we're a design firm, so it's a little different for us. It's a little different.
It is.
And Amy mentioned red as well. It's no go with the red.
Red is not good. What is red in Inside Out? Anger.
Anger.
There you go.
That ain't us.
No.
Okay, awesome. So, we know interactions are really important, and that's like the primary thing you should be doing on social media. Tell me a little bit about what data you should be paying attention to, even if it's just a little bit.
Okay. Data's great. Numbers don't lie. All of those things. But because what I find with clients is that they just don't want to spend time on social media, so they're not interacting right now. I can use your data as an example because I did just check it before I came here. So your engagement is up, right? So you're in the green. You're plus something percent, right? You've had, I think, 0.2 something percent extra followers. Your content interaction is flatlined. It's flatlined. It's flatlined.
Shame.
That should be a higher pitch when you do the beep. But I think business owners are missing out on content interaction.
100.
I really do. And I think to break out of that, I think I'm going to say to you right now, find those accounts, like the one of that woman that you recently found who teaches us to enjoy wearing whatever we want to wear.
Yes.
And comment on her stuff.
It never dawned on me. From my business page?
Well,
It never dawned on me.
Just say,
every time
I love
I
it.
comment
Thank you
from
so
my
much.
business page on a page that doesn't make sense for the business, I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
So I
that.
follow someone who teaches those of us in our 50s how to do our makeup. And I love her. And she said something the other day and I said, you totally turned me onto this product and I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Just do it.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah. So I think having fun on social media again, make social media fun again.
No.
I think having fun on social media is super important.
Yeah.
And because we only look at it now as a way to drive our business, I think we just have to follow all of these rules. I say just relax.
And it is so a mind game.
It's a mindset.
I will tell you, like, social media for me personally is you do our social media. Okay. So there's the business part.
Right.
I'm done. The personal side, I'm just a scroller. I look to see what other people are doing. I never comment. I never put anything out there myself. Even on my personal pages, I'm not a poster.
Right.
Like, I don't post things. I just look at what other people are doing.
And that's okay. I think it'd be hard to have 2 pages.
It's really weird that is such a mindset thing for me. So I think the checklist would be great, even though it's not like a must do this in this order kind of thing. But I think the checklist would be great for those people that do have those mind games already playing.
And we do have a checklist, I think, that I made for BDG when we did a lunch and learn a little while ago.
Yeah. So we have a whole video out there.
We do. And maybe we can put that checklist in a format
to give people show notes. So this just made me think of something else that I don't think people do enough or take advantage of enough, and that is collaboration. I was going to mention it earlier, but I didn't want to go on
You didn't want to step on my toes?
I didn't want to.
So I do now. Love, wherever I go, I love taking pictures and taking videos. So I was just somewhere in Allentown this past weekend, and I was like, this place deserves a video. And I made it, and I collabed with them, and they accepted it, and it went on their wall, and it's like 1,700 people seeing it, and they thanked me for it. And I was like, no problem.
And the crazy part is we do collaboration so much in our business. We always tell people, if you're a coffee shop, partner with, the toy store next door, and maybe you can do a coffee shop toy store kind of thing. Or we've done so many I can't think of any right now.
And then
we've done
that
so
digitally.
Many. So then do it digitally. Why doesn't it transfer over for me? And we actually made those cards, those cute little business cards that we hand out to people and say, you're about to be highlighted. Look for the collaboration, accept the collaboration. I think those are awesome, especially when you're in, the same industry or you're looking at the same target market.
And I don't understand. I wonder if people feel threatened, or if it's going to turn into like a competition thing. And again, back to mindset. I'm like, no, you help me, I help you. We both helped each other, so if you remove that barrier, both of your pages are going to get engagement and views.
We're all working so hard. Let's help each other, help each other.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And then I did one so this is interesting. So I did one for a brewery, and they commented and they said, we're so glad you had a great time. They didn't accept the collaboration. And I was like, interesting. So I went over to their wall, and their wall has a very specific aesthetic. So if they had accepted my video, it wouldn't have fit.
Okay.
So you
didn't get mad.
No, you can't take offense.
I've always wondered if people just don't know how to accept it, or if there's a reason.
Well, there's probably a learning curve as well.
Yeah. Which is why we had that little card that we handed out.
Absolutely. Very helpful. That was a great idea.
That was because that brought the digital on into, in person as well. Yeah. Okay. So, it feels really stressful if you think about it. So I like the idea of a checklist like we talked about. And I like the idea of taking some of these notes and not doing all the things all the time. But what should you be doing as far as marketing is concerned, and not spending all your time on one piece? Is social media the answer? Is it the answer?
This year alone, I think Instagram crashed 3 days. Couldn't get on. I think it was 2021 where one of the businesses that I did social media crashed, and we never got the page back. So if you would like social media to be the only egg in the basket, go for it.
You don't own it.
We don't own Instagram, Facebook. You only have to spend a little bit of time on Facebook, and you're going to get one of those DMs from some company saying that you are against, you went against, the rules and to click this link. Listen, none of that is something that you own. So why not have a hub? Why not have a storefront that is yours, AKA a website, right? So I recently said to a client, if you are going to announce a huge new thing, don't you want your email list, assuming you have an email list, don't you want them to hear about this first rather than just throwing up a billboard?
It should feel more exclusive.
It should feel more exclusive. And then you use social media as your backup, right?
Yep.
So I would say website, email list, newsletter, social media. And also because social media is changing so often, like Reels, everything was about Reels last year. Like you had to be doing Reels.
You had to have the right music.
Period. You had to. Yeah. Now The lip syncing reels that everyone's doing, not so popular anymore. Now, carousel's big again. Now you can put 20 pictures in a carousel.
You can?
Yes, ma'am.
I did not know that.
Please don't ask me to do that. So it changes so often that I often wonder about a lot of these subscriptions or trainings or workshops that you can plunk money down on to learn how to do it. If anyone is telling you, we're going to teach you how to do it correctly, I don't understand how they can get away with that, because in 3 months' time,
we tried. Remember, we did trainings for a little while.
We did a training on hashtags during the pandemic when it was 28 hashtags. You need to have 28 hashtags. Good God. If you put 28 hashtags on your IG post anymore,
oh my gosh. And
absolutely
it was
not
obsolete in like 30 minutes.
It really was.
But we did it for free because it was the pandemic.
I know.
And
it was the thing then. And we did all of this research on how to find the right hashtags. Yes. And now it's keywords in your caption and a few relevant hashtags. So it's going to keep changing. Yep. So because that keeps changing, why not have a storefront that you are in charge of putting up pictures, content, blog posts, whatever, where people can subscribe, because that will be your constant, whereas social media is never going to be your constant.
Yeah, your email list. So you hit it. That's the thing you own. They gave you permission to contact them. Mm-hmm. You can email them at any time. And, guide them to your website, guide them to your actual storefront.
Yeah. And I think people maybe get the impression that that's old school. I think it's just school.
Yeah. It's just a base.
It's a base.
Yeah. It is. So true. I'm a little overwhelmed again. And I know that you have been giving me some amazing tips today. So it is not you. It is me. Remind me of the 3 R's.
The first one's perfect for you because it's relationship. You need to have fun on social media.
Have fun.
Yeah. And then regularity, which is posting often. Like if you post one day and then don't post again for 5 days, crickets, right? So even 3 times a week, right? And for you, regularity could be in your stories because I'm taking care of your grid.
True story.
So I keep telling you to be regular.
Listen, she is calling me out.
Be regular
right now.
And then the third one is repetitiveness. And that's something that I have to keep my eye on. Say that, quick launch websites, we really want to share that 1 month. Well, then I need to make sure that that is put into our rotation at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. And that could be in the form of a testimonial.
Absolutely.
In the form of an actual just straight up product post. But then it could also be past work, and it could be video testimonials are great too, or just a designer.
We always try to mix within something like that. We always try to mix in a little fun. So it's not... It's so that your grid doesn't look like it's just everything's for sale all the time.
Right.
We try to mix it up a little bit.
We want to give as many tips as we can, as many helpful tips.
Absolutely.
In the form of past work and in the form of testimonials as well. So awesome. Okay. I feel better.
Good. Well, and then for your checklist, for you, post on stories. Mm-hmm. For me, I'm posting on your grid, right? Comment on some fun stuff.
I need to get better at that.
Yeah, that's
the one.
That's a really big one for you. Okay. For other folks out there, you're going to want to post on your grid. You're going to want to post in your stories, interact with some sites that you love. I have an Instagram page that I have fallen in love with, so much so that I'm going to tell my husband to please get me something for Christmas from this company.
See, it worked.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes. And I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but now I know every Sunday they're coming out with another video and I wait to watch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I really, really love them.
Good. Okay, show notes.
So good. Yeah, show notes. I will put that in there. But I think if you just keep it simple like that, I'm going to post, I'm going to do stories, I'm going to interact. Yeah.
And just don't take it so seriously.
Don't take it so seriously.
It's fun. It's free. Yeah. It's just a little addition to your marketing campaign.
Right. It's the delicious dish.
Now we have to pay SNL for that.
I know.
Well, thanks, Joline. I appreciate you. I love talking to you about all this stuff. And if, our clients or any other potential client wants a free consult, I'm sure that you would make that happen.
We'll talk to them.
All right. Let's do it. Thanks, friend. See ya. High five. Thanks for joining me on Design and Thrive. I hope today's episode gave you some ideas and tools to take your brand to the next level. If you found value in this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. For more resources, freebies, and downloads, head over to burkichdesign.com. as always, find the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and remember, we're here to help you create something awesome.